thank you so much, all the speakers. Now we would start our amazing sessions. First, we would like to invite Dr. Mala Singh, who is the chairperson of CII-IGBC Mumbai Chapter on green building movement in India. About Dr. Mala Singh, she is one of the country's leading experts of climate strategies, green building, net zero approach, ESG compliance and sustainability solutions to various sectors like building construction, healthcare, hospitality, education institutes, warehouse and logistic facilities, industrial, government projects and corporate with more than 18 years of experience. She is certified ESG and carbon management expert. She has various green buildings and sustainability accreditations. Some of them are IGBC Fellow, GRIHACP, GRI Accessor for Sustainability Reporting, and Lead Green Associate, etc. She has been awarded with various national and international awards for her contribution in the green buildings and sustainability. She is on board with various prestigious associations and forums as an advisory board member and playing a leadership role in the capacity of chair and co-chair. She has been playing a very proactive role in green education by sensitizing all kinds of stakeholders of the society. She is a moderator, keynote speaker and panelist in various national and global seminars and conferences. So let us welcome Dr. Mala Singh on stage. Can we have a big round of applause for her, please?
So from the morning, you must have seen that there is a logo, the green color logo. This is IGBC logo. And I had told you in the morning also that IGBC stands for Indian Green Building Council, which is a part of CII. And CII also, I had mentioned that it is more than 100 years old organization. So IGBC is one of the very prominent initiative in India to promote the green building movement in India. So when IGBC was formed in 2001, so the one building in India which was constructed, I told you in the morning also, that was Shraji Godrej Business Center, which is in Hyderabad. So which is called to be as the greenest building, not just in India, but globally also it has a special recognition. I would just request to please excuse me because it is really disturbing me. So yeah, please, just thank you so much for acknowledging. Yeah. So when it comes to the green building movement in India, I think you have seen that previous session and all experts were talking about the problems in Mumbai. They were talking about how the water management needs to be done, what needs to be done for the waste management and air quality, pollution. I think these topics have been very well discussed in the previous session. And the solutions also, whatever they feel as an expert and they could contribute, they just shared their views about that. But having said that, when IGBC, the Green Building Council, is talking about green building movement, I think first question comes into the in your mind also it will come, that why we add green in front of building? Why not just we were always using building, product, but nowadays we say green building, green product. So why we say that? I think that thing also everybody is aware that because of climate change, global warming, resource depletion, and somebody says that one professor who was talking about that, when you are putting more overweight, so one thing, one time you will blast. So it is the same thing, the like Earth Overshoot Day, which I had mentioned. So just to solve these problems, when green building why came into the picture, because you are talking about various environmental safeguards, you are talking about environmental problems, but once it comes to the built environment, because you see that the entire planet now, if you see the real estate sector, if you see the cities, urban areas, a lot of structures who are already there, which we call existing built environment, and lot of redevelopment, new greenfield projects which are adding up. So that is the issue, that how we could create more resource efficient structures and how we can enhance more green built environment, which helps the not only the communities but also addressing your health and wellness issue, and also tackling the issue of your resource, basically resource optimization. So the main, I would not say profit, but the main benefit it is going to have, you are going to get, that is a resource optimization. Because the time is there, unless we don't think about resource optimization, then your problem is not going to solve, because we are already crossing all those planetary limits that we know that. So now coming to the IGBC, this green building concept, because I think you must be thinking that green building is something, it is just some brand or some certificate or some checklist or something, where actually it is not the case. That is that's a myth. That's a wrong perception. That's a wrong perception. And somebody said in the morning also, one of the dignitary, that when we talk about green building, it is very expensive or it is additional cost. That is also myth. I will encounter that right now. So when it comes to the, first let's talk about the building green. So building greens means you are using an approach which is more sensible, which is more responsible. So whenever you are using the resources, you are thinking sensibly that how much we need to use and what kind of materials we need to use. So it is about your sensibilities, how you use that approach and how you understand that what is my current usages or resource consumption patterns and how I am going to reduce that. It's just about that. So everything revolves about the 3R principle always. You talk about waste, you talk about water, you talk about any resource. So first principle is reduction, then recycle and reuse. The same concept is applying in the green building concept also. But when we define a building green, let me tell you, it's a very simple definition, which we consider in the, even if you have heard about your Vedas and Vedic science and our Indian mythology, we always talk about minimum possession, which is aparigriha. So there also we give a lot of importance to conservation, preservation, recycling, reuse. This is what, if you see your ancestors, like heritage properties, you see the old forts also, you will see that even the design interventions were also too good, that you have proper ventilation, you have proper sunlight, okay, you have very good daylight in those structures, so you were reducing artificial lighting loads. So lot of design interventions, I think in the ancient heritage structures you could get the inspiration, and India is blessed with that. The whole world is learning from India. That, I think, that fact we can't neglect. But coming to the urban context, the today's scenario, when you have all concrete structure and we are creating concrete jungles, so definitely we need a solution there, but the role of IGBC comes into the picture. So as we know that we can't do much intervention in the design, we can't use mud or we can't use mud bricks or something like that in India, like, for creating our homes or multi-story buildings or this high-rise culture. But still, what is the possibility and what we can do? This is what, the green building concept, not in the ancient concept we can connect with that, but in the urban context, how we address all those current challenges and how we try to mitigate and reduce through the new green building development or transforming in the existing building environment. This is what the IGBC's standard approach are helping us as a guideline, as a tool. So the entire green building, if you ask me the definition of green building, it's a very simple definition which IGBC has kept. We call it a building which consumes less water, which generates less waste, and which consumes less energy, and which gives you a better environment, and which gives you better productivity and better prosperity also. So this, and which also enhance daylight and give you better, the ventilation aspects are there, the sunlight is there. So everything revolves about the 5 elements of Mother Earth. I think somebody who was moderating the session, he just you touched upon that 5 elements of Panch Tattva, Mother Earth. This is the same concept, sir, in green building. It's not a rocket science. It's very simple in IGBC. When we address water conservation, we say that, okay, you have to conserve water, even during construction also and post-construction also. So what are the strategies you can utilize, you can use to achieve those targets? So that is a jal. That is a jal, your Panch Tattva, one Panch Tattva. So when it comes to the fire, which is energy, Agni, so we are addressing your electricity. So one aspect is the electricity, but there are other side of fire also, where we are addressing fuels also, which is directly linked to your carbon footprint and other scope 1 and scope 3 emissions. I will not come to that because that is another subject. Now we will digress that. So after energy and water, when we talk about Vayu, Akash, and we also talk about Dhara, Bhumi. So this is what in the green building we try to address maximum daylight. So how could you do the, less you can optimize the usages of lighting, how can you see the lux levels, how you can look into the energy management methodology. So basically how you optimize electricity usages, so how you are reducing your energy consumption. This is what you are addressing, that Agni part, and how you are more, I would say, doing more transition towards clean power, green resources of energy. This is what, that's the inspiration lies in this Panch Tattva aspect of the definition and its integration in a building aspect. I'm just trying to link that context. Similarly, when we talk about the Dhara, when we address this Panch Tattva, so here we are addressing, when you think about making a building green, so suppose you have a site, okay, so how do you see the existing biodiversity? How do you understand that how many trees are there? And you also think upon like how those trees can be preserved, okay? And first you do numbering, you create a survey plan, blah, 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 but how you safeguard that tree during the entire course of development. Generally, BMC, what they do the counting, they give you tree NOC, they give you some order for transplantation of trees, or in some of the states I have seen that they charge some money, some sort of, the arrangement is there when you cut the trees. So every region has its own statistics. But in green building, our intention is to use, basically to reduce the disturbance to the natural topography. That's the first principle. How you preserve the existing trees, or how you transplant the trees, that is also the inspiration in the green building concept. And suppose you cut one tree, so how you plant 3 or multiply that, or 4 times trees you are planting. So that is a one aspect. And also very important context, because in the morning we were talking about Mumbai's problem, okay? So I will just correlate that aspect also here. So in Mumbai, we must have observed that plot size is too small. So we have size constraint always. Every architect, you ask any builder, they say, oh ma'am, we don't have space, where we will put the Mother Earth, we don't have space. That's always, there. Even the landscape architect also, they are not ready to, for us, they say, oh ma'am, we don't have place, there's a driveway, we have to give it for the fire purpose, for moving that engine and all that. Even hardly a 1 meter or 2 meter space in the periphery of the building you have. So what else extra you can do? This is what the green building gives you, those ideas. Green building inspire you to use those strategies also. So you may have vertical gardens, you may have green roofs. So you may have multiple, innovative ideas which you could use. Even Mahindra, I remember that you people will be doing Miyawaki and so many things, whatever is possible to bring that biodiversity aspect, to add in the pockets, in the cluster level. So if we could add in entire Mumbai city, whatever my contribution from my society, redevelopment buildings or whatever, this is what, we have to think upon, because it is not only going to increase the greenery or revival of the greenery, but also it is going to help us to mitigate the heat island effect. I think in the morning we were talking about that temperature is increasing, heat waves are coming. Why? Then we need to have some nature-based solution. So every time we can't use technology. So this is what the green building also inspire you to enhance biodiversity. In every building we have a guideline that you need to have 30% of the green area, or 40% of the green area in respect to your plot area. So how we measure that? Whatever you have on the Mother Earth, whatever you have on the podiums, whatever you could use on the roof or vertical gardens. So we are inspired, we want to enhance greenery in the city. So that's also very important principle in the green building guidelines. So I think you can correlate the benefit of green building. Although we could not do much in the building structure because we know that it is just a concrete box. It's a combination of some windows where we use some glazing part, and it's a concrete window. We can't use mud or some gobar bricks or something here. We know that challenge. Even any big corporate, they will also use the same strategy, which is possible. But what we can do, still, in green building, we also talk about daylight. We also address ventilation. Yeah, what do you say? Okay. So those are the aspects, we consider in the green building aspects, okay? Can you give me can I change how can I do this? Yeah. Yeah. So this is what about the just basic, because I want that when I have come here on the behalf of Indian Green Building Council, and we have become the knowledge partner for them. Unless we don't provide you knowledge about green building and its benefit, it doesn't make any sense to become knowledge partner also. Just putting our logo there, it doesn't make any sense for us, neither for them. Yeah. So this is, I have told you about the concept, now it's clear. Okay, the benefits are clear, so there are tangible, intangible benefits both. So when IGBC, you can see the one building in 2001, I have already spoken about. Today it is more than 13 billion. So that is the growth. It means that's a positive sign. So that means the builders are using, that means government is also taking a lot of interest and intervention in these concepts. So this is a celebration of our 10 billion square feet with Honorable President. She has acknowledged already. And not only that, even the benefits in terms of green building incentives are there. For the builders, there are extra FSI in the, except MCGM region, in other non-MMR region, entire Maharashtra, if you see the DCR copy, you will find these benefits. For the platinum and gold and silver rating like that. So these are the 32 rating systems in India, which we have. And it's not just one standard of SOPs for every building the same, but if you have a residential, so it is a different approach. If it's a commercial, it is a different approach, including even if you have a temple, if you have a warehouse, healthcare, hospitality, whatever. So we have a separate standard for that. So this is just an impact. I have already talked about that. So benefit, we have already discussed. So these are the levels. You can see the gold, platinum, silver, like that, what you receive once your buildings are green. And SDG goals, somebody, I think ex-municipal commissioner has mentioned. So let me tell you, when you make a building green, so your 9 parameters are already addressed by default. 6 he has already mentioned about the environment, but 3 more are added in that. So this is the SDG connection with the green building approach. And we have also more than 12,000, now this is an old PPT, but we have more than 12,000 green certified products. Because somebody said that, even ex-municipal commissioner said that the green buildings are expensive. This is the reason they are not, it's not additional cost. The reason is that because we have a complete directory and low carbon, eco-friendly certified products already available in the market, which enable you to do the right green supply chain process management. So you can pick and you can choose the material without, it's not expensive. It is almost in the same cost. It is only the intelligent way of doing the procurement process. And you may have policies in place like Mahindra does all those things, but small builders who does 1 or 2 buildings, even they also follow the approach when they are using green building approach. Similarly, this is, I just want to tell you that this year, first time in the history, the IGBC has every time, IGBC has conducted its International Green Congress, always in the south part of the India. But the first time it is happening in Mumbai in November. So we would like to invite you all. So this is one of the biggest green conference in India, and where mostly more than 70 or 80 countries are participating. So this is going to happen this time in Mumbai. So we invite you all to participate in that. And so this is, I think I have already talked about. So basically, just to, if you see, if we change the way we think about buildings, what we build might change the world. This is the wordings of Dr. Late Shri Prem Jain, who we call Bisham Pitamaha of green building. And he has given us inspiration to promote green building in India. And today still we are working on his teachings. And I think this is, with this, we can't cover all the things today because of the time constraint. And I would like to tell everybody who's sitting here, you people can qualify IGBC APA exam also. There is a IGBC accredited professional exam, and which you can go through our website, IGBC website, and you can connect with our people there. And if you qualify that exam, somebody talks about green jobs in the morning in environmental sector. It is not just environmental engineer, but I think it's for the management people, marketing people, anybody, even architects. You people can look into, the green jobs aspects also, and can become IGBC AP. And for the educational institution, we have a IGBC Student Associate, that program also. So students also can look into that. And apart from that, we also launch student chapters. In Mumbai also we have more than 20 student chapters which we have launched. So we have, I would say, lakhs of students who are already associated with us for the green education propagation, and they are doing at their college level also. So they are also thinking on green design aspect, green engineering, civil, electrical, plumbing, whatever you call it. Green is a subject where all the stakeholders must come together and work together. Everybody play a role, even your security guard at your site. So I just say like that. Everybody contribute in that. Okay, so this is what I would like to stop here. So let's continue this journey, and all of you who are here, just think about that, how we can think about just how to make our this planet more climate resilient, and whatever built environment we have already destroyed, how we can repair that, and how we can rebuild better infrastructure and better buildings for a better future generations as well. Thank you so much.
So thank you, Malaji, for that excellent lecture. I myself have become IGBC AP in the last month itself. So from professor I became student, and I secured 98 marks. So I was very keen to जो recently converts है, they are fanatic about green building. So I am in that phase. So I was listening very keenly to Malaji's lecture. So what I want to say now is, every after every panel discussion we have a question answer session so that our participants may participate actively. So now she is also leaving after this lecture. So whatever happened so far, like panel discussion as well as her lecture, we will have a 5 minutes question answer session quickly, and then we will start the remaining lecture. So please go ahead with question answers. If anybody wants any question. So
ma'am, thank you. Your session was very informative. I would like to ask, what are your take on glass facades? Because nowadays in Mumbai, we see many buildings coming up with glass facades.
Hello. Yeah. So very useful question. See, in every building you have a combination of wall and glazing, right? And our principle in the green building is to look into the thermal properties of your wall and roof both, okay? So when we look into the walls, there are different aspects. We look into the thermal specs, but once it comes to the glass, again, the same approach, we have some benchmarks. So we have to just achieve those benchmarks irrespective of building typology. So it may be commercial, it may be residential, although in residential we may prefer single glazing, but with a certain benchmarks which we need to achieve, okay? And glazing, we know that there is heat mitigation is a very, very important component. So we also inspire, shading devices and all those things, because if you have a south facade, suppose there is a lot of heat gain, we still inspire, some sort of shading devices, automated lowers or whatever, or chajjas. I think Sunita madam talked about chajjas a lot. I know that today she didn't talk about that concept. She is going to talk about that. So this is what this projection factor and solar heat gain coefficient. U value is not so important and significant for us, but the SHGC solar factor is very important. So whenever we choose the glass, we just look into those values and benchmarks. Then we choose the glass. So it is an intelligent use of glass. So and you will be glad that nowadays most of the glass industry people, they have become green certified. So when they are green certified means they will offer you the glass, you have nothing to do, they will get the certificate. That means the entire certification process, and they have already qualified and validated their specification from the certification body itself. That's the advantage to you. But try to minimize the glass usages. That is our principle always.
I want to ask you specifically about that. Does it add to any temperature rise?
Yeah, try to minimize. So we have a certain, if you see the ECBC 2007 and 17 as well, so those benchmarks and ratios of WWR, so I don't know how many of you are architects here, but that is also the certain principles and certain aspects we see, okay, with respect to...
Do we have any data about,
Of course.
does it add to any temperature rise or any study or any, something like that?
Yeah, so there are a lot of research, and but I'll tell you, I think we should think in our life, like Rome was not built in a day, but small contribution, like small drops creates an ocean. Just like that, if I'm making a building, one building green, second building green, 30 building green, so like it will create a better environment, and those small contribution will add more value to the entire environment. So I cannot always expect, bigger thing, but I can expect from smaller things, it will have better impact in a continuous and for the long-term approach. This is what I think we need to have that thought process.
Ma'am, but when we go for glass facade part and all, so what happens is like you go for an automated air conditioning system, mechanical conditioning system, air conditioning. That comes into your picture, and also the fire escape, like in case of hazards and all. The fire escape portion, the fire rescue portion comes into picture, and it becomes a great deal of thing.
Yeah.
So what are your remarks on that?
Yeah. See, every building has a different typology, okay? You take an example. One is a residential structure, other is a commercial one. So when it comes to the residential, like your homes, so generally in Indian context, we don't have centralized air conditioned homes. Generally we don't have. It's a operable windows always. So we always in the green building, we always implement national building codes there. When we see your carpet area versus ratio of your openings, actual openings, okay, we calculate. We use some prescriptive methodology for that. For the living room, for bedroom, kitchen, toilet, we have a different benchmarks. So we do all those quantitative analysis. Once we do the green building aspects, we try to achieve some marks or whatever. So that is the approach we use in the natural ventilated buildings. The once it comes to the centralized closed facade, let us say here we are sitting as a closed, right? So there is a different methodology here. So here first thing is understanding of your WWR ratio, understanding of your climatology. Climatology, we know that we are sitting in Mumbai, so we'll talk about warm and humid climate. But here also we will be looking into our orientation analysis. We will do sun path, shadow, we do all those things, okay? We do all those things when we talk about green buildings, because that is a starting point to understand the microclimatic conditions of your building setup. Very, very important in the beginning. Once you understand that, then you understand the orientation, like how the sun is behaving with your building, in which side, where it is coming. Okay, so where are the chances of more heat gain? So when you understand your facade completely, you choose the material wisely and you choose the design intervention strategy accordingly. So problem is solved that way initially. But once it comes the closed box and your centralized air condition, even I think what your question is, it's more about the active approach. What I have spoken about, that is a passive approach. So there is a passive, there is active. So it's a pyramid approach always, right? So when it comes to the closed facade building where you have a centralized air condition, that means we need to focus upon more active approach. When I'm saying active means understanding of the specification of electromechanical equipment, what you are purchasing. So there, air condition you are purchasing, so how you purchase that? What is the specification you need to choose that? You cannot just choose randomly anything and say my building is green. So there are certain benchmarks, there are certain approaches, energy simulations, there are some sort of understanding of even the type of refrigerant you are using, and the various other aspects are there. Okay, ODPs and all that. So based on those things and intervention of your entire envelope, you would be able to understand that my building is green, it's platinum, gold, silver, like that. But the most important component here is a fresh air. Because in the closed facade, still I have seen that in Indian context, the problem is, even here I don't know, air condition will be there, but fresh air is there or not. Because most of the existing building, you don't have fresh air. So whenever we transform those buildings under IGBC approach, because in IGBC, it is not the new building rating only. We have existing building ratings also. We call it operation and maintenance rating. So in those particular building rating program, we inspire the customers to add fresh air system in their building. And also we inspire them to reduce the energy consumption overall by following certain ECMs, energy conservation measures. Okay, so it is approach, the kind of building you are dealing with.
Can we take the questions later on, please?
Last
offline.
question.
We can take it offline, please,
Okay.
because we have a lot many speakers and.
So while constructing green buildings, the disaster aspect is also. So disaster aspect is also taken into consideration. So if we want to consider constructing a green building in the city of Mumbai, so we have to think disaster resilient building. Like we are in seismic zone 3, we are facing floods and cyclones every year.
See, you are addressing climate resilience here, okay? So in green building, we have not included as such in the rating program right now. Yeah, it's just a one-line answer. IGBC or any other green building program has not included climate resilience. There is a climate resilience matrix. So we are thinking on that particular aspect, but this aspect is not a part of the greening the building right now. This is more about the safety, more about the disasters, like how you see all those aspects in a different perspective. But mainly fire safety and within the building, that is a particular aspect of safety. But this climate resilience and this particular aspect has not been addressed in the green building. That's a very clear-cut answer for that. Okay.
Thank you, Dr. Mala Singh. It was amazing session, and really we came to know a lot of lot of important things. It was about green solution and biodiversity. Amazing session, ma'am. Now I would request Mr. Ajit to kindly felicitate Dr. Mala Singh.